don't you come back no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say?
A perfect 6-0 Davies team looks to expand their record here tonight on Cheyenne territory. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tristan Murrock, joined alongside the Missing Wolf tonight for tonight's girls volleyball matchup between the Fargo Davies Eagles and your West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs. Once again, the Davies Eagles coming into this one 6-0 in the EDC, 10-2 overall, followed by West Fargo High at 5-0 with a game back in the EDC, and then Cheyenne at 5-1 and one game back. You know, so looking into tonight, it should be a great game. The 1-3 at the current moment as we're about set for game time here. Just getting warm-ups going here. As we are set to start right on time for this one tonight. Unlike some previous weeks here at Cheyenne where we have been running a little late. Look at tomorrow's schedule for Mustang Athletics. Football is at Davies, and I believe that's the only game for tomorrow night. As Cheyenne kind of expanding their record in football as well this recent week with a non-conference game at Mandan, winning that one, I believe, 27-23.
Oh, and it seems to be, Tristan, one of those years that
27-26, excuse me,
at
sorry.
least football seems to kind of be wide open right now. Every time it looks like there's a team that's poised to kind of make that run. Right now it's Shanley is the #1 team in the state, but Davies looked unbeatable early. You know, obviously Legacy came in and beat Cheyenne, and then Horace jumped up and beat Legacy, but Horace was beaten by Kindred to start, and they're a Class 2A. It just really seems kind of wide open, and really what matters is the start of tomorrow night and the coming weeks, because that's what you're looking for in terms of playoff seeding and everything, winning EDC games. Yeah, it's nice to see some of those teams from the West, but you got to beat the teams in the East, and that's going to be where the challenge starts for the Mustang football team tomorrow night.
You know, and looking ahead to that Fargo Davies game, obviously last year played them in the state championship. Pretty good game if you're Cheyenne, not so great if you're Davies.
Yeah.
Obviously looking back into the regular season last year, a 3-0 game. That was extremely boring to watch if you were there.
It was
all defense.
All defense, and, that's the thing. During the state championship game, Cheyenne was able to get on top of Davies, and Davies is not built for big comebacks after being down. They're very much a ball control, ground and pound type of offense, and they've shown flashes of that this year. And so for Cheyenne tomorrow night, they're certainly going to have that defensive front play very well at the point of attack, because it's so hard to read where that ball is. And if you have to commit extra players to controlling the line to the point of attack, suddenly that ball comes around the outside and there's no one there but a cornerback or a safety, and they're all alone, and suddenly you've got all sorts of trouble. So certainly a big game, start of the EDC season, and I'm sure both teams looking to get off to that 1-0 EDC start.
You know, and looking at that upcoming schedule for football as well. Week 6 is a home game against Fargo North. That one will be streamed right here on Mustang Media. And the following week, October 10th, they are at Horace at 6. Horace just coming off the shock against Legacy this past week in Bismarck.
Yeah, like I said, wide open at this point. Maybe in 2-3 weeks we'll have a clearer picture of what that looks like, but for now, seems to be anybody's game with Shanley sitting on top, but they haven't played an EDC game either, so we'll just have to see how things play out in the next 2-3 weeks.
So with that, we'll take a break for anthem and introductions, and we'll be right back after that. Stick around, folks.
If you're thinking about growing your family someday, we'd like to remind you of one simple thing. Babies bring us joy. With an unwavering commitment to delivering the highest quality care, Essentia Health is ready when your someday arrives. Essentia Health, caring for you and your future.
Discover the experience that awaits you at North Dakota State University. Join the Bison family where connections run deep, from the classroom to the field and beyond. Build an exciting career with the help of industry-leading faculty. Tap into the power of the herd and make unforgettable memories in Fargo, one of the best college towns in the Midwest. Don't wait. Find your adventure at North Dakota State University.
What would you do with a second chance? At Essentia Health, we understand the significance of second chances. Our heart specialists see them every day. That's why regular checkups and heart screenings are vital, even if you feel fine, and especially when you have a family history. Essentia Health is the right place for early detection, advanced treatments, comprehensive cardiac rehab, for second chances. At Essentia Health, we work hard to keep your heart strong for what's next.
Tour the beautiful campus of North Dakota State University in Fargo. Learn about majors, scholarships, our free application process, and get a free t-shirt. Register now at ndsu.edu/visit.
Our health. It's what keeps us doing what we love. It keeps our communities strong. So, how are you doing? There's no easier way to take care of yourself than checking in with us, your primary care team at Essentia Health. In person or online, we offer scheduling and appointment options that fit your life. We'll care for you today and keep an eye on things for the future, and if needed, get you back on track. So take some time to connect with us, because it's always good to check in.
So shoulder pain is one of the most common things I see. When Linda came in, she complained of pain in both her shoulders.
You did all the work on the left one, and by the time I had the second one done, I could do anything I wanted to do.
Shoulder replacement, the whole point of that is really to get rid of the pain and get you back to doing normal things again.
You listened to what I wanted, and it worked out great.
We were a good team.
Yes, I think so.
One thing that I've always enjoyed about being a physician is just the patient and physician relationship.
Part of why I trusted him is because I felt more than just a patient.
We figured out the best situation for my injury, and we chose the one that would best fit me.
I'm a huge sports fan, have been my whole life and still am today. I have a strong desire to help people maintain their activity levels and to get back to doing the things that they are passionate about.
All right, folks, welcome back here to the Cheyenne Gymnasium once again for tonight's girls volleyball matchup between the Fargo Davies Eagles and your Cheyenne Mustangs. Tristan Maroc joined alongside Dan the Man Wolf as always. And Wolf, I know you and I were talking before this game, and should be a really good one, like I talked about in pregame, 1 versus 3.
Yeah, so. And it certainly appears early on that these two teams, along with the West Fargo Packers, have certainly distanced themselves from the rest of the EDC. It's kind of these three at the top that are kind of fighting amongst each other. We know West Fargo was able to take a tough 5-setter against these Mustangs up at West Fargo 2 or 3 weeks ago. Davies has yet to play either West Fargo, and obviously facing Cheyenne tonight. So it's probably too early to know what team is kind of in the driver's seat and controlling their destiny. But when you have two of the powerhouse teams in the EDC going against each other, it's always has the makings for an entertaining match, and that's what we would expect tonight. Cheyenne coming off of a sweep of Shanley at Shanley the other night, and every home match that we've done so far, Tristan, this year has been a sweep for Cheyenne. Could certainly be conceivable that it won't be that easy for either team tonight, but that's why they play the games, because you never know for sure.
Quinn Scari getting us kicked off tonight here at Cheyenne, as Metcalf with an early kill.
And again, that's something we've seen more of this season. Cora Metcalf has almost exclusively been a right outside hitter through most of her career that we've seen. And in the last few weeks, we've seen her also playing over on the left side. And that's where she starts things off tonight with a nice strong kill.
So Richmond sets this one over to Saxon with a little drop shot there, intercepted by Scari. As Broughton isn't going to be able to handle the one coming off of number 14, Sierra Ranke. So both sections are seeded as we got 1-1 game here in set number 1. Pasanante, the second server of the night for the Eagles.
Nice job in the back row by Broughton, and then from the 10-foot line into the net. We've talked a lot about in the last 2 or 3 broadcasts, Tristan, about the need to eliminate unforced errors, and it's such a fine line at times when you're out there. You want to keep things going, you want to keep the heat on the other team, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you're clearing the net and that you're able to be successful. There's the quick dink right there, just over the quick set. Catches Cheyenne a little flat-footed on that one, so the Eagles up 3-1 early.
Richmond set back to Metcalf. Intercepted there by Pasanante. Sent over as Soxlin Saxland will get a kill there. So Baylor Dinger on to serve now for the Mustangs. Not quite sure what the dig count's at, but I gotta assume it's getting close to 1,000 if we have a couple of 1,000 digs posters here as the Eagles collect another one there.
Nice job finding that empty back corner. No one home for the Mustangs. And I would imagine that's what you'd expect with a team like Davies. This isn't a team that's going to beat themselves. You're going to want to make sure that
that'll be
not sure if that was
net
in the net violation or what exactly. It was a battle at the net, and Bryant won it. And Scary asking here through her coach what exactly the call was. Inadvertent whistle. Because that looked like a Davies player had kept the ball alive. So an inadvertent whistle. I think that's the first one for me in the years that I've done this, Tristan.
There's another great serve there by Kren. Saxland gets this one over. And might have been long there as it bounces up in the rafters, and Dinger's not going to be able to read that one.
Good power from Passanante from the 10-foot line. Just more than Broughton could handle back there.
Saxland from the 10-foot line will collect.
Had some Davies players, I think, up at the net expecting that the ball was going to get over, and then it got hung up in the curtain at the top of the gym and dropped behind them. They were unaware of where the ball was.
Amundsen now on to serve for the Mustangs. This one's set back and blocked in front there by Bryant.
Great block up front. Nice job deflecting it straight back. Davies unable to react quickly enough. You get the impression that this might be one of these types of matches all night long that just kind of goes back and forth and won't be decided until right at the end of each set, as there's a nice little drop shot from Bryant. Good recognition. Hit blockers committed and just drops it over the top.
Amundsen continues to serve here. Broughton could have probably let that one go, you think?
Well, you know, it's always so hard. You have just a split second to make that decision, and from up here we feel like we know a lot of times what it's going to be, but we're not in that heat of the moment. But that one might have been long. And Passanante showing her athleticism from the back row behind the 10-foot line, and it's not just the power that she brings, but the angle, really making it almost impossible for anybody from Cheyenne to get a piece of that and try and dig that out. There's that quick set to Bryant. One of the Cheyenne bread and butter plays, that quick set and that right down the middle.
So Kill into serve now. Two great digs there. Couple of digs from both sides.
Oh. Kill just unable to get enough of that one.
As Baylor Dinger just collected her 1,000th dig.
And only a sophomore.
as a sophomore.
That is impressive. Congratulations to Baylor.
Great dig there by Amundsen, as this one is sent back the other way there. Number 13, Jalen Jackson.
Cheyenne yet to lead in this one, and we've seen Davies jump out by about 3 points a couple times. And then Cheyenne's been able to get it back close as Broughton drops the hammer on that one. Christensen and Matternon for Dinger and Bryant. Saw Ellie Christensen have a really nice match a couple weeks ago up at the as a middle blocker up there.
That one's blocked down there by Richmond.
Scully led Passanante just a little bit too far, and that was all Passanante could do, and Richmond right in the correct location there. And that, again, that's one of those unforced errors that you hate to see.
Jackson's gonna go back to serve now. No aces so far on the night, so Broughton almost collected there. And miscommunication there on the Cheyenne side, so it'll be another point for the Eagles as they climb to 3. Amundsen set back to Richmond with the drop shot.
Well done. Didn't have position for a big hit up the line, but smart player. Saw that opening with the drop shot.
Richmond with a good serve there. And that one's going to be sent down.
Passanante, I think. Yeah. She's only 5'9", but she's got some serious hops. She gets up and then just drives the ball down so well.
Richmond sets that one over, and Metcalf with another kill. So Cora will collect her second kill on the night. Tied up there with Bryant. As Passanante will get this one back over. Richmond set back to Metcalf once more.
Cross court, Scully opted to go for it. It looked like it maybe had the potential to go wide. Again, just one of those situations where that ball was moving so fast that you have to decide yes or no.
So Broughton to serve.
Good serve. Good dropping action on that one. And Passanante, that time, blocker's able to get a piece of it.
Richmond with the quick set. I thought she had it.
Well, and that
kept alive, blocked in front by Metcalf. Good rally. So this one sent across. Richmond sets to Metcalf, and she will drop one home.
Really good lesson there for any young volleyball player. It looked like that quick set by Richmond had caught Davies off guard, and they able to dig it out and keep it going for the best rally of the night. Got to make sure you go until you hear the whistle, especially against a well-coached, talented team like Davies. Otherwise, that's going to be problems. Job by Dinger.
Good read there by Saxlin. Quick set over. Another good rally here. This one will be set back, and that'll be a net violation, I think, for Mustangs point. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, Tristan, this is the first lead for Cheyenne in this opening set. Looking to see if they can grab a little momentum and go on a little run here as Broughton continues to serve.
Wow. To Pasanante as she sends one
that
home.
That is just impressive to see.
Pasanante will go back to serve now. Richmond set over to Saxland, and she gets one down.
Nicely done. Perfect position. Saxland had the entire court at her disposal. Kind of right down the middle on that one. And Cheyenne holds on to that 1-point lead.
As Dinger will serve now. And that one gets down there for Ranke.
Davies team a little bit older than Cheyenne. They have about half a dozen seniors on their roster. And obviously most of them played big roles as we see our first ace of the night. Off the hand of Krenz, yes.
Collecting the first and only ace so far. Richmond sets over to Saxland, and that's way too long. Maybe
neither coach using a timeout yet. It's been tight back and forth. Sure, Cheyenne has to be careful here as Davies getting into that zone. You don't want to let him get it too far out front.
Set over, and
is that Ranke or Scary?
Ranke, I believe.
Again, yeah. So a 3-point lead, and here comes the timeout, just like we talked about.
So Coach Newton will do a timeout. Mustangs find themselves down 3, 14-17 is the score here in the first set. We'll take a short break and be right back.
Our health. It's what keeps us doing what we love. It keeps our communities strong. So how are you doing? There's no easier way to take care of yourself than checking in with us, your primary care team at Essentia Health. In person or online, we offer scheduling and appointment options that fit your life. We'll care for you today and keep an eye on things for the future. And if needed, get you back on track. So take some time to connect with us because it's always good.
All right, folks, welcome back here to Cheyenne High as Hudson Dinger and Jenna Runsvold lead the Stangs chant. Pretty early tonight, so we'll see how this first set plays out. 17-14 once more.
And before the timeout, we just talked about the fact that, you might, as a coach, no one had used a timeout to that point, but you don't want to let either of these teams probably get too big of a lead going, because that's a lot to overcome.
Just barely.
Wide. I thought Saxland had the line, and just wide it was deemed.
Krenz will continue to serve. Pasanante gets this one back over. Richmond sets back to Bryant, and that one's blocked down in front there. I believe it was Jackson leading the charge. Richmond sets back to Bryant once more, and that one's going to drop in for.
Nice and deep for that one. Cheyenne stops the bleeding for a minute here as Amundsen will be on to try and serve, get Cheyenne back into this. Once you hit about that 20-21 point mark, if there's any sort of lead, your opponent can just kind of side out you to death on that.
So Amundsen sets over to Saxon once more and intercepted there as that one's going to drop courtesy of Jackson again, Jalen Jackson.
Richmond tried to put some heat on that one, and Jackson in the right spot at the right time.
That one's into the net. As Kill's going to come back in for the Mustangs on to serve here. That one's a great serve. As
Jackson and
Pasanante went over Jackson there to get that one, and
nicely done by Broughton. Great
block by
Bryant. Alone by herself up there, able to knock that one down.
As
violation by Davies there on some movement during the serve. Coach getting an explanation, not sure that she likes it. But that brings Cheyenne within 2.
Oh, that one's going to drop in
really
just
nice.
barely.
His line gang's going to be on to serve here.
Up by 3. So Amundsen sets this one over to Broughton, blocked in front, and Amundsen can't handle.
Nice job up front by the Davies blockers there. There was nothing wrong with that set. I think Broughton was happy with the opportunity, but Davies just better at the net on that particular point, and they're now up 4.
Pasanante with a drop shot of her own gets in for the Eagles, and they expand the lead up to 5, and that'll be Newton's second time out there. So the Mustangs find themselves down by 5, 23-18, your current score here in set number 1. We'll take a short break and be right back. All right, folks, welcome back here to Cheyenne High as the Mustangs find themselves down by 5 here in set number 1 against the Fargo Davies Eagles. 23-18 current score as Broughton will make it 23-19 with the drop shot.
Haven't been many opportunities for that. I've been very impressed tonight, Tristan, with how well Davies has been able to dig those kinds of shots out from Cheyenne and extend rallies. I think they would certainly, Davies has had the advantage in terms of drop shots and things like that. This should be a good chance right here.
Amundsen over to Broughton with another drop shot, gets in.
I don't know that that was a planned drop shot. Kind of a mistimed jump by Broughton, but still hung in the air long enough to get enough so that it worked like a drop shot. And Mustangs hanging around.
Mattern serving now for the Mustangs. This one set over to Pasanante, and too hot to handle there in the backfield for Amundsen. As the Eagles now have set point up by 4. And Bryant and Dinger will come back in for the Mustangs here. Or excuse me, Dinger and Richmond, I believe. As Jackson's on to serve, and that one bounced off the top of the net there, bounced off the tape, and the Eagles take set number 1, 25-20. So, Wolf, what we expected, it's a pretty tight matchup.
Absolutely. Two really good teams, well coached, talented, and athletic. Davies, kind of those 50-50 balls, I think just did a nicer job in the first set there and just managed to extend rallies and hang around long enough. And Pasanante did a really nice job. She was a difference maker out there, certainly for Davies, and I would think Cheyenne's going to have to try and do some planning, seeing what they can do to try and keep the ball away from her and be in position to deal with any passes that go to Pasanante's way.
So with that, we'll take a short break. Eagles take set number 1, 25-20. You're watching Mustangs volleyball here on Mustang Media.
A few years ago, my hip was getting to the point where it was affecting my life.
So then when I met you in the office, you listened to what I had to say.
My goal is to teach patients about their diagnosis, explain the treatment options so that they can make the decision that is best for them, because we don't just treat what an x-ray tells us.
Our goal is to get the best possible outcome for the patient. It's just a great feeling to know that you help that patient get back to doing the things they want to do.
And now I have a new hip that feels fantastic.
Tour the beautiful campus of North Dakota State University in Fargo. Learn about majors, scholarships, our free application process, and get a free t-shirt. Register now at ndsu.edu/visit.
All right, folks, welcome back here to the Cheyenne Gymnasium. Eagles take set number 1, 25-20 was the set score, as we're about set for set number 2 here. Wolf, like we talked about before the break, kind of what was expected, and you talked about it last set, and I think we'll talk about it this set too, I'm sure. You can't really let either one of these teams get out to a huge lead.
No, you're really playing with fire. If you let either team get that 4 or 5 point lead on you, they can turn that into something big right away, as we see the first ace of the evening for the Mustangs off the hand of Brindley Richmond. And if you're Cheyenne, you don't want to go down 2-0, especially at home. You feel like you probably have still a chance, as there's some miscommunication from Davies. But Cheyenne, I'm sure, looking to try and get out to a quick start here in set number 2.
So Richmond will continue to serve. 2 aces to start this one out as Pasanante will get one down and home for the Eagles.
Already her 7th kill on the night.
Scari back to serve here for Davies. Dinger gets this one over to Scari, and that's long.
That's, I think, the first time we've seen one be long like that from her. She's been really spot on for most of her opportunities tonight. Nice serve by Broughton.
This one gets over to Scari, or excuse me, Ranky, and gets down.
Yeah, got through the hands of the blockers, and Richmond just couldn't handle it on the other side.
Pasanante back to serve.
Yeah, it's a net violation there by, I think that was by Richmond, or was it Christensen up front there?
I believe.
Yeah. Thought you saw an opportunity and into the net.
Richmond back to Metcalf, and she gets one home.
Probably the best look that Metcalf has had since the opening point of the match tonight. That one was with authority.
Christensen back to serve, and that one gets caught in between the hands of Saxlin and the net there, and not much he can really do about those.
No, I mean, we saw at the match or set point in the opening set with Jackson getting one to climb over the top of the tape, but sometimes it just doesn't cooperate with you as Krenz is on to serve now.
This one's set over to Pasanante, and Metcalf gets this one over. Set to Jackson, and she gets one down.
Caught a piece of the
barely
line.
in.
As she goes cross court on that.
Krenz will be back to serve this one. Saxlin over and back to Metcalf. Barely gets over the net there. As this one gets down.
I think that was Ranky coming from the back on that one. So a 6-4 lead.
As a little bit of miscommunication there, maybe.
And I think maybe Coach Newton, yeah, she's going to get a timeout right here as the Mustangs look a little out of sorts, so she's going to talk about it with them. We'll step away for just a second. Set number 2, Eagles lead 7-4. We'll be right back.
What would you do with a second chance? At Essentia Health, we understand the significance of second chances. Our heart specialists see them every day. That's why regular checkups and heart screenings are vital, even if you feel fine, and especially when you have a family history. Essentia Health is the right place for early detection, advanced treatments, comprehensive cardiac rehab, for second chances. At Essentia Health, we work hard to keep your heart strong for what's next.
All right, folks, welcome back here to the Cheyenne High School Gymnasium. 7-4. Eagles lead set number 2 after taking set number 1, 25-20.
This is a good test for Cheyenne tonight, testing their resiliency and their grit. Again, we've talked about the last, I think, 4 matches for Cheyenne have all been sweeps. So they haven't really been challenged like this since that opening EDC match against the Packers. So this is challenging them to do what they can, as Richmond can only get a hand on that without getting into the net, and Bryant trying to kill that, hits it in. Not always the worst thing to have your team deal with some adversity and kind of have to figure their way out of things, as Broughton, I think, thought Saxon was going to take that. Saxon dropped out right at the last minute. And I think they're going to get Mattern on to replace Broughton in the back row there, hoping that she's going to be a little better equipped to handle this serve, as Krenz has been easily the strongest server for Davies tonight.
That one intercepted by Saxon, as Metcalf almost drops another hammer there. And that one's outside there, I believe, for Scary.
Yeah, I think Scary tried to go up the line just out of bounds, and an opportunity now for Cheyenne to kind of work their way back into this, the early phase of the set number 2 here.
Marley just clips the top of the net there, as that one just gets through the hands of Bryant, courtesy of Scary, I believe. Back to serve, number 14, Ranke. As Richmond collects a kill there.
And this is something we don't see a whole lot, or haven't this year, with the opponent having the athletes to kind of match up at the net with Cheyenne, but Davies holding tough here tonight.
So this one almost gets down for Jackson there. Good rally going on here. And that one just can't be dug out there by Badeau.
Good drop shot by Passanante.
Badeau has to set that one back, and Brian just a hair long.
Just that ball was so close to the net, it was all Badeau could do, but the set was backwards instead of up at the net, and so Brian couldn't get a hand on it the way she would have liked to have swung it on that one, and ends up long. As Broughton there. Krenz is in position.
As that one's kept alive. And
nice job by Scary, but there was an example of Davies almost getting caught celebrating, as Cheyenne stuck with that one, was able to extend that rally, but then Scary quickly with that quick set. So I think this is the first time we've seen Nybakken on tonight, as she's on to serve.
Richmond, and that one gets caught.
Yeah,
on the net there.
Not the cleanest of nights for Cheyenne with their set game. Just not putting it in position consistently. A lot of the hitters getting to the net and having to make adjustments.
Dinger sets over to Richmond, and she will get one down.
That was
more courtesy of Scary, I think, there.
Yeah,
but
that was just fortunate. Again, good adjustment, great adjustment by Richmond at the net, and just keeping that alive and put it in a position where Scary could just get a hand on it was about it. But again, not clean for Cheyenne tonight with the sets. As Passanante, that's She's been very good at that tonight. She recognizes those holes in the defense and is able to put a ball in that position and make it really hard for Cheyenne to keep in as they find themselves down now 15-7 here in set number 2.
Great dig there by Broughton, and Christensen will
good dig
be
by
able to
Broughton.
get one down.
Nice set by Badeau, and good finish by Christensen.
Richmond back to serve now. Pasanante gets one down and hard, bounces upstairs. And great dig out there by Kendall Ray.
Yeah, Kendall Ray, nice job, and then just too much to handle. That was impressive by Kendall. She was watching that ball bounce around in the rafters and sticking with it, but Davies not letting up on the gas here at all.
Richmond sets all the way over to Metcalf on the left side once more. Good rally here. Scari sets this one over to Pasanante, and that one's going to drop down for.
Once again, really nicely done.
As that one drops for Metcalf.
Nice job by Cora there.
And Richmond's kind of favoring the leg right now after that dig she took, and I think she's talking to Newton about it right now, but
they're just going to say they're going to try and keep going here.
So that one's way gone. Almost to the baseline. Broughton's back to serve.
Nice job cross court by Pasanante there. Has thus far in set number 2, Davies has had all the answers every time Cheyenne tries to build a little momentum and climb back into this set.
Pasanante back to serve as
it's like an official is clarifying something at the table.
Not quite sure what was going on there, but cleared away. Richmond sets over to Ray.
That's going to go wide.
Richmond over to Metcalf this time, and that one won't be able to get to the floor. Scari back. That one's tipped over, net violation on Scari, I believe. Christensen will be back to serve now.
Grijalva on for Bryant.
Almost collected an ace there, but kept alive on the Eagle side. So that one's going to get back over and just unable to be handled there.
Hot potato up front, but ends up working out for Davies. They've extended this to 20-11 and kind of just side out Cheyenne for the rest of this set, but they have their best server on in Krenz.
This one's set back and that one's low.
Yeah, Reinke just.
Reinke.
Instead of just clearing it.
There's another miscommunication there.
Yeah.
On the Mustang side.
Dinger, the libero there, trying to get to it. Ray was backing off to let Dinger get to it, but just couldn't, and now it's a 21-12 lead.
This one's all the way over to Richmond. Ray with an opportunity, sends one into the netting. So 12-22, first double-digit lead of the night, I want to say. Richmond just barely able to get a handle on that.
That one's going to find the floor.
Going to find for the line gang.
And Coach Newton letting this is a young group out there. A lot of freshmen and sophomores on the floor right now for the Mustangs. She's going to see if they can just kind of work their way through this. Good experience for them as Grijalva finally gets one to drop there. Yeah, she's just going to let this group roll for a while. They find themselves down 10, but a good learning experience for this young crew.
As that one's going to be blocked in front for Richmond. Ray's still back to serve.
Great serve.
As that one almost drops for her.
Good job by Line Gang keeping that alive. As
Broughton
Broughton
gets one down.
You see a little confidence growing with this young group out here of sophomores. And a couple freshmen. Or no, just all sophomores, I think.
(23-15). Down by 8. Rotten with a drop shot, almost drops for
Another nice job for Davies, keeping it alive, as that one is too much to handle.
So Broughton with her 5th kill on the night.
Still a long way to go, but it's entertaining watching these young kids. Yeah, that one's going to be sent in the net and bring up set point.
Nybakken back to serve for set point here, as Badeau sets this one over to Broughton, and good read there on the Davies side from the 10-foot line for Ray. Gets intercepted, and Pasanante will finish him out. So 25-16, dropped 4 points off the first set. Wolf just, any words?
Well, I think Davies has just been really good at the net tonight. haven't been a lot of clean looks for the hitters, outside hitters and middle hitters for that matter, for Cheyenne. Davies been able to get a piece of it and extend rallies and also digging some balls out that just we haven't seen in teams in the matches that we broadcast really have a chance to do against Davies. Or I'm sorry, against Cheyenne, and Davies doing a nice job of that tonight. They find themselves down 2-0. We'll see what it looks like after this, but you just kind of turn it loose at this point. You play loose and free. No one's expecting you probably to come back from 2-0 down, but you just let it happen and see how it goes from there. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes with set number 3, Cheyenne down 2-0 to Davies. We'll be right back.
Discover the experience that awaits you at North Dakota State University. Join the Bison family where connections run deep, from the classroom to the field and beyond. Build an exciting career with the help of industry-leading faculty. Tap into the power of the herd and make unforgettable memories in Fargo, one of the best college towns in the Midwest. Don't wait. Find your adventure at North Dakota State University.
If you're thinking about growing your family someday, we'd like to remind you of one simple thing. Babies bring us joy. With an unwavering commitment to delivering the highest quality care, Essentia Health is ready when your someday arrives. Essentia Health, caring for you and your future.
All right, folks, welcome back here to the Cheyenne Gymnasium as the Mustangs down 2-0 on Davies. The second set going 25-16, the first set going 25-20 as
25-20, 25-16, Davies playing like the number 1 team in the state right now, and it's not that Cheyenne has played horribly, but I think from every aspect of the game, I think Davies just been a little better here tonight as we see kind of that more experienced crew starting set number 3 for Cheyenne. And, you know, you just take this, Tristan, one set at a time. You can't be thinking, well, we got to come back. You try and win a set, try and win set number 3, get yourself back into this, and then go on from there. So you can't be thinking too far ahead, thinking you're going to have to keep some of these opportunities alive, keeping these rallies alive, and hopefully getting some better opportunities at the net. That's where Davies has been really strong so far this evening, as Davies will open things up. I think that's Scary going to serve to open the Davies set here in set number 3.
Richmond set over to Metcalf on the left side, and that's just long.
I think they're going to say that was touch. Yeah, it was touched at the net. So this is how it started, though. You know, in set number 2, Cheyenne jumped out with a quick 3 or 4 point lead, and then Davies just worked their way back into it. We'll see how Cheyenne can do this time around.
Rotten almost collects there. Richmond set back to Metcalf, and she collects and gets one home. So Kill continuing to serve as Mustangs take a 2-point lead here early in set number 3. Once again, like you said, Wolf, though, I believe they jumped out to a 4 points lead in set 2.
Yeah, and then Davies just kind of methodically worked their way back in, and they're up 3-0 here. See if they can gain a little momentum and see if they can jump out, put some heat on Davies. Now, that's the one thing Cheyenne hasn't been able to do to Davies tonight, is put them in a 4, 5, 8 point hole and see what they can do about it, as Passanante is going to get that one to drop for her. Well, that one I think might have been long, but
as Metcalf makes
nice
a block.
Good job by Cora right there.
Ellie Christensen on to serve for the Mustangs, as Richmond kind of made a split-second decision there.
That one again looked like it could have maybe gone long, but she opted to try and take that, couldn't quite handle it. And again, if you're not in the gym and see the pace that the ball was moving with, if you were here, you'd get a sense of how difficult that is to try and keep or to make a decision that quickly.
As Badeau will be on and back to serve now. This is a 5-2 Mustangs lead. And there's a block in front for Bryant and Richmond.
But handled again by Davies. As that one
dug out by Passanante. But
yeah, I mean, great effort, but that one, just too much heat on that from Broughton.
Badeau just barely over the net. Richmond back to Bryant, a running spike. Gets handled. Richmond with a quick set over will drop.
Good rally that time. Both teams making good adjustments throughout the point. But Cheyenne now up 5.
Set to Jackson, and she gets one down there. So 7-3 Mustangs lead. One of their biggest leads of the night still. Richmond back to Broughton. This one's handled on the opposite side there. And that one's going to be blocked out.
Davies done an excellent job all night extending rallies, finding a way to keep points alive. Been multiple times that I think Cheyenne has felt like they had finished off Davies in a particular point, and Davies managed to stay in it. But Cheyenne maintains this 5-point lead, something we hadn't seen so far.
As Jackson will get one down. Just a little too hot to handle there for Dinger. Gang gets an ace. That one's set. And unable to get over the net there as Saxland kind of took cover on the initial spike.
I think that was a lapse in situational awareness there. Richmond needed to just get that one back over, and I think she was looking to maybe set that.
Pasanante gets one over. Jackson with a little touch there, and Bryant goes down hard.
Yeah, I think she came down on top of Saxland's foot there, turned her ankle.
So 8-6, Mustangs lead. We'll take a short break and be right back.
Our health. It's what keeps us doing what we love. It keeps our communities strong. So, how are you doing? There's no easier way to take care of yourself than checking in with us, your primary care team at Essentia Health. In person or online, we offer scheduling and appointment options that fit your life. We'll care for you today and keep an eye on things for the future. And if needed, get you back on track. So take some time to connect with us, because it's always good to check in.
So shoulder pain is one of the most common things I see. When Linda came in, she complained of pain in both her shoulders.
You did all the work on the left one, and by the time I had the second one done, I could do anything I wanted to do.
Shoulder replacement, the whole point of that is really to get rid of the pain and get you back to doing normal things again.
You listened to what I wanted, and it worked out great.
We were a good team.
Yes, yes, I think so.
All right, folks, welcome back from the injury timeout as Riley Bryant's getting attended to there over by Coach Jeremy Newton. Wolf, you and I were talking during the injury timeout, and what seems to be a high ankle sprain. Obviously, we're 25 feet away, so.
Right, it just looked like she came down. It looked like from our angle maybe stepped on top of Saxland's foot or something there. Not exactly sure, but the good news was, she did. She needed some support to walk off, but she was able to put some weight on it. So hopefully it's nothing, more of a scare than something serious. But obviously Cheyenne's going to have to go on without her tonight, as not sure what was being discussed there, but it looks like we're ready to resume action.
As I believe the Davies coach or coaches have something going on here.
Yeah, I spoke to one of the officials. Now it seems like they're trying to work things out. I don't know if it was a question about the previous play, the previous point. Whistle was blown as soon as
Bryant
was down, so I don't know if this is a replay of point or if there was an argument that the point had been won by Davies.
So believe the point went to the Mustangs. I'm not quite sure.
Well, it wouldn't have gone to the Mustangs because Davies is serving. But
replay a point then.
Yeah, I think it was decided it was a replay. Regardless, Cheyenne walks away with the point there and leads 9-6 here in set number 3.
Stinger's on to serve now. Jackson gets one on the opposite side. That one drops in there.
Really great
for
job.
Passanante.
Yeah, that cross court, short angle. Really a spot that you're not anticipating as a defense.
So the Mustangs lead shrinks to 1.
That's 14 kills on the evening already for Passanante in only 2.5 sets. And there she's at the net again and wins that battle. I don't think that goes down as a kill, but still it is a point for the Eagles.
As Saxlin gets one to drop there. They'll call it a net violation, I believe, on the Eagles.
Double hit.
Or double hit.
Yeah.
As Richmond sends one into the netting. So a 10-10 game.
Job by Krenz handling that kill from Metcalf.
Great job there by Richmond and Saxlin to keep that one alive. Richmond there with another dig, unable to be handled in the front lines though, as the Eagles now have the lead for the first time in set number 3. Richmond over Metcalf and able to be handled on the other side as there's a great dig there in the backfield by Mattern, and that one gets down for Metcalf.
Really starting to see some power on display from both teams here. A lot of bodies flying around as girls looking to dig out balls. Two really good teams going at it here tonight.
Kill back to serve.
That one into the net by Scary. Or I'm sorry, Ranke.
So Kill continuing to serve here.
There's an ace.
There's an ace for.
That's always a sign, Tristan, right, of good teams. I haven't seen many aces out here tonight, and it isn't because of a lack of good serving. It's just the return game of the two teams has been really exceptional this evening as that one sails long.
That one drops.
They're going to trade some errors there.
So a 2-point lead now for the Mustangs. And that one drops there for Ranke. As they have Krenz back to serve now again. And Wolf, like you've talked about multiple times before, Krenz probably one of their best, if not their best server.
I think tonight she has been. I don't know, obviously, her stats throughout the season, but she's done a really nice job on the service game tonight for Davies. As that one catches, oh, wow. Obviously, we're not on the line, but that look from up here, I thought that one caught the line for Metcalf, but lines official was there. They're being paid to call it, so. Nice job by Ranke.
As
Jenner runs
showing off the arm.
There's good decision by the Mustangs as that one sails long.
As Badeau will be on to serve now.
Nice job by Ranke there. Coming up from the back, a lot of momentum carrying her forward, able to get that one through the blockers.
As that one drops in there.
Just caught the line. Good quick set. I assume that was
line gang, I believe.
Was it line gang?
I think it was line gang.
As Davies clawed all the way back and now up two. Good serve, handled well.
Line gang is going to be long on that one.
I'm going to say that was tipped. So a point for the Davies Eagles. Starting to say that one was tipped at the net.
Broughton almost able to get one over there.
That was a really good job by Broughton. As Grijalva with the big kill at the net.
Saxon and Mattern.
That was really kind of set up by Broughton there. It was all she could do to get that ball over the net, but not hit the net. And it works out for Cheyenne.
That one's blocked in front, but it'll drop out.
Scary with the kill on that one.
That one, great rally, but just going to get in there for Scary as Dinger wasn't able to dig it out. And
I think that might be a timeout coming, or
that's going to be a timeout there for Newton. So 20-16, now the score here in set number 3. Mustangs losing the first two sets. One was 20-15, I believe. 25-20, and then 25-16.
Yeah.
So,
and this, you know, again, neither of the opening sets really blowouts of any kind. It was almost 10 points in the second set, but Davies just kind of been like one step ahead of Cheyenne tonight. We haven't seen Cheyenne struggle at the net as much as they have against Davies, and Davies isn't particularly tall. It's not that they're tiny, but just really athletic at the net, and they've really served and passed the ball very well this evening. And like I said, at the net, done a really nice job as Line Gang continues to serve with the Eagles up 4 here in set 3.
So that one drops just on the outside.
There's an opportunity, kind of a gamble there for, I think that was Richmond, to try and catch Davies off guard. Doesn't work.
Saxon almost gets that one down, but handled well on the other side, and Saxon just short on that one. The Eagles take a 22-16 lead here in set number 3.
Nice job by Kendall Ray. The Davies fans are saying it touched the curtain, didn't matter. Ascari sends that one down.
And there's going to be another timeout for Newton.
But I think it's going to be a little too late, as Davies can really just side out the match here. So if this is any indication, Davies certainly has played incredibly well tonight, and we said at the beginning of this match, Tristan, it really seems like the Packers, the Eagles, and the Mustangs are kind of the head and shoulders above the rest of the EDC, but it certainly looks like any matchup between these three teams as the season progresses should be quite entertaining. And then, of course, you've got Bismarck Century out west, who is always a factor.
Pasanante is going to get one.
Good job by
Almost
Mattern,
down.
And that one is sent out by Ray, and it's match point.
As Richmond sets this one over to Ray. Ascari to Pasanante. Ascari to Jackson. Handled by the Mustangs. Good rally. So Richmond will set this one to Grijalva, and that'll do it. So 25-16, set 3 score. As Wolf, any comment?
Well, I think Davies is just a better team tonight. I guess we'll find out as the season progresses who the best teams in the state are. But certainly for tonight, a 3-0 sweep by the Eagles. They played really well. It seemed like they got to 50-50 balls better. They were definitely better at the net with their blockers tonight. The scoreboard's off here, but I know Pasanante was at 14 kills at one point. She was a dominant force tonight. And so you go back to the drawing board and you worry about the next match. Hopefully Riley Bryant, there's nothing serious with that injury. Hopefully that won't keep her off the court for an extended period of time. Congratulations to Baylor Dinger joining the 1,000 Dig Club as only a sophomore who's only maybe a third of the way through her sophomore season. So tough one for the Mustangs tonight, but this is not the end of the season by any stretch of the imagination. They'll just have to get back to work, sharpen the axe, and come out and worry about the next one. I think our next broadcast for
next week, Thursday.
Thursday against the Fargo North Spartans for volleyball, and then next Friday against Fargo North, I think, again for that one, which will be a Cheyenne football game.
Yeah, so like you said, Wolf, I think Fargo Davies just coming into this one as a better team tonight.
They were the better
obviously
team
they're
tonight.
perfect 7. They moved to a perfect 7-0 so far here. I don't know much about the West, but kind of looking towards halfway through the season almost now, you got to think that we're, like you said, we're starting to see those teams level out to those top 3 and separate. And like you said, Cheyenne, Davies, and West Fargo being the 3 on the east.
Right.
And on the west, I got to assume Century's up there.
Century is in there. And, of course, there'll be another crossover, I guess, of sorts. About halfway through the season, a lot of these teams are playing in some other events, so it's a chance to kind of measure yourself and see where you're at still a long way to go in this season, but certainly this is going to be entertaining. If tonight was any sort of indication, this will be an entertaining season as we continue on for the Mustang volleyball team.
Yeah, so with that, Davies comes in and beats the Mustangs in 3 sets. For everyone up here in the booth, I'm Tristan Murrock.
I'm Dan Wolf.
Good night, folks.
Don't you come back no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say?